Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talkin Chalk. I'm Ken Berthelot. Talkin Chalk is the show where faith, sports, and leadership all come together. Today, we look at a very good soccer team. The St. Mary's Dominican High School soccer team, the 2011 state champions, their players, and their coach, Al Silvas. They had a very unique season, and you're going to find out why in just a moment on Talkin Chalk on WHNO TV 20 Sports. Welcome back to Talkin Chalk. In 2011, Coach Al Silvas did something very special at St. Mary's Dominican High School. They won the state championship, just as they had done in 2003 and 2007. But this team was special. They bought into a motto, refuse to lose, and they knew they carried the history, the rich history of St. Mary's Dominican High School. Here's Jude Young with Coach Al Silvas.
Coach, we can't start any interview like this without talking about what it's like to be the coach of a state championship team. Talk about last season, the whole experience, and obviously the championship game, dramatic win, and what that was like.
Last year, we focused our season with our motto was refuse to lose. And we went into every game refusing to lose regardless of who we were playing against. And the girls bought into the motto, and every game in the playoffs, we did just that. We went down in our quarterfinals against Mandeville. We went down a goal in our semifinal to Lafayette and pulled a goal either in overtime or right before the end of regulation against Lafayette, and then went to PKs and won them both. So the girls really accepted the refuse to lose motto and did what they had to win their games.
How much of that is so much the motto, the coaching, the working it into their heads each and every day at practice and in preparation, and just what the girls have inside, and being blessed to have the type of team that has that kind of intestinal fortitude and heart to be able to win in that fashion and never give up? It
definitely was getting it ingrained into their mind to have that mentality. And you know, our school is very faith oriented at St. Mary's Dominican, and our motto is truth, and they took it as truth. And we talked about the plan, the process, what we were doing every game, and the girls bought into it. And you know, that is a testament to their mentality, to their strength and their will to get that done every day.
You mentioned the school and St. Mary's Dominican and its history as far as being one that helps young girls grow into young women and be able to handle the rigors of life, and also do it while remembering the importance of their faith and carrying that along with them. Talk about just the atmosphere at Dominican, not just dealing with the team and your family as a unit, but as well as the whole school community and how that comes together.
The community at Dominican supports one another. In the classroom, on the field, in the stands, and our student body, our alumni that came back to support us, especially during our 150th anniversary last year, was just amazing. You know, and the girls felt it. They felt it into the stands, and it transpired onto the field through them.
It's great that you mentioned 150 years plus for a school, and you're able to help these girls etch their name into the history of the school, bringing a state championship. That makes it even more special, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. You know, we talked about going in, you know, into that state final, and we talked about enjoying the moment, but at the same time, a little bit of the history for the soccer program. They won their first one in '03, won their next one in in '07, and then won their third in '11. Every 4 years, it started to look like that was their history. We're trying to break that this year and go for back-to-back, and we'll see what happens.
And it makes it easier to go back-to-back when you know that you have a team, as you mentioned to me before the interview, that's a younger group coming from last year. So you've got the foundation there already, and it doesn't hurt for them to know what it's like to, quote-unquote, grab the brass ring.
Correct. Definitely, you know, bringing back 8 to 9 starters depending on who we use in any given game. That experience is huge. And you know, this group that are now seniors, when I started, were freshmen coming in, and just every year we got stronger, and the underclassmen that have been coming through after that have made the team stronger and stronger every year. And trust me, it's not going to be easy to repeat a back-to-back state championship. That's probably the most difficult thing to do. Not winning the first one, it's that repeat, because it's special, and not every team's able to do that.
When we come back, we'll talk with some of the players who made this state championship happen. All of that coming your way on Talkin Chalk on WHNO TV 20 Sports. Welcome back to Talkin Chalk. In 2003 and 2007, when St. Mary's Dominican High School won the soccer championships, they found that it was harder to repeat as state champions than it was to win the first title. This team has 8 returning players, and senior leader Ashley Harbor knows that this group might just have the will to make that happen. Jude Young talked with Ashley Harbor and some of the other players on this St. Mary's Dominican team.
Let's talk about, first of all, being a state champion, a defending state champion, and everything that was involved last year with getting the job done and winning it all. Just talk about the overall experience.
Well, last year it was definitely an amazing year. Won state, it was a great feeling, and hopefully this year we'll be able to do it again. It'll be awesome.
And talk about having the bullseye on your back, literally. We see that on the t-shirts, a motivational tactic, but also a reminder you're playing teams that know that you're the best from last year and they want to knock you off even more.
Definitely, yeah. The bullseye means a lot to us. It means that all the teams are out after us to beat us and stuff, so it's a good sign for us.
As far as getting into soccer, how long have you been playing the game and what drew you to want to play the sport? Because it's obviously not something you just show up and do. It takes a lot of work.
Right, I've been playing since I was about 5 or 6. And my mom signed me up, and I've just been playing ever since, working hard, and then advancing from there.
What position do you play?
Center back.
And was that something you chose, or was that something that the coaches at the time thought that would be best for you, or are you really a striker in center back's clothing?
Well, I used to play forward, but then my coach, Colin Rockford Club, had moved me back in defense, and that's where I've been ever since.
As far as the club level goes, that's really where you get into the game early on. Talk about that experience and how important it was to be growing up here and have that kind of level of competition and good coaching to be able to develop as a player.
Yeah, playing for club and then coming to high school is a good amount of difference. But for club we travel. I get to play a whole bunch of different teams and styles of play, so it's good.
All right, the first question is why we're here. We're interviewing this team because this team was good enough to win the state championship last year. Talk about that experience and what it meant to you.
It was crazy. We just won as a team, game by game, playing just for that game. We weren't looking ahead. We were just focusing on each game at a time, and it ended up we were in the state championship, and we came together as a team toward the end of the season, and we completely gelled and worked together perfectly. Our passing was amazing, and we finished our chances, and we won the state.
So you believed in what the concept that Coach was selling right away, but what do you think made it come together more than anything else? Was it struggles maybe at some point in the year that really made it come together for everybody that, no, we want to make this work, or did it just slowly but surely get there at just the right time once the postseason came around?
Well, in the beginning of the year, we had a lot of injuries, and we needed to figure out how we could play off of those and make the subs work together as a team. And then when all of the injured players came back in, we really had a chance to see how it would work, and it did slowly progress to being a state championship team.
How long have you been involved in soccer? Did you get into it at a very young age or pick it up a little later?
Yeah, I've been playing soccer forever. I played rec soccer when I was little, and then when I was about 10 or so, I started playing club soccer, and I have older brothers who have played soccer. My little sister plays soccer, so it's in the family.
Speaking of in the family, so the competitive level there, you couldn't help but, hey, I have to raise to another level. I'm not going to let these boys show me up, right?
Absolutely. I had to be able to play with my older brothers. I couldn't let them show me up. I was a girl, but whenever they're like, you were playing like a girl, I was like, no, I'm not. I can beat y'all up any day.
So that made you tougher on the field. You're willing to knock girls around here and there, get a loose ball when you have to, and make something happen, right?
Absolutely.
Talk about as far as role models in soccer. Fortunately, in women's soccer in America, you really have great girls that have been on a championship level, the best in the world to look up to. Who are some of those that you try to emulate your game after? And more importantly, perhaps, how you those girls you try to be like off the field?
I really like the way Abby Wambach plays. She works hard, never gives up, and she's just constantly working to improve her game. If she notices a mistake, she works hard to try and fix that. And I try to correct my game. I know I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, so I try to improve with every game. And I know I make mistakes, but I work hard to try and recover from them.
Talk about Dominican, and speaking of learning from your mistakes and being willing to work hard and make sure they don't happen again and become better. Talk about that as a student, as an athlete at Dominican, and just overall in the community, what the school brings into your life, because a school like Dominican, faith-based, that helps, and we know that the administration and the faculty are people that really care and are helpful and are there for you. Just talk about the importance of what Dominican brings to you in your day-to-day life and how it's helped you grow.
Well, the school absolutely pushes you to work your hardest academically, but when you are struggling, they offer outside help and they give you help after school, and they will work with you to try and improve the way you're doing in that class. And the faith life has been amazing. It has really helped me work and get closer to God, and it's pretty awesome.
So soccer, faith, school, family, you've mentioned all that. Do you have time for anything else? I know all the extracurriculars you can think of are usually involved at schools like Dominican. There's availability there, and I know they want you to get involved in as much as possible. Do you have time for other things?
Yes, I somehow find time to do other things with all of the homework and schoolwork that I have to do, and then dealing with my family on the weekends, having fun with friends. I still manage to have a social life, so it's pretty awesome that I can get all of that in a package deal.
And that's definitely important in life, as we know, and that brings happiness and contentment. Now, looking ahead to the future, do you feel like Dominican and playing soccer Dominican at the same time has helped you prepare for the next level to be ready for young adulthood and go to college? Because that can be daunting. That's a totally new, different, and challenging stage in life.
Absolutely. I think it's really prepared me because the academics push you hard, and then with soccer you get a structure down so that you know how to work in your practice and your homework and with doing schoolwork and extracurricular activities. So I think it's really worked well, and I think I'm going to have fun in college.
And finally, are you going to repeat? You're the competitive one, I can tell.
Hopefully.
That's it, hopefully?
I mean, yeah.
So you get to play the fun position. You get to attack and try to put the ball in the net. Has that always been your spot on the field since you started?
Well, since I started at age of 4, I've been moving around from like defense and midfield, but primarily I love playing forward, and usually my coach is playing forward.
So you love scoring goals. I can't believe that.
Yes, I love scoring goals.
And you play for a state championship defending team here at this point. So talk about that experience of winning a state title, and even more importantly, the challenge of trying to do it again.
Oh yes, well the first thing I have to say about that is the fans that we saw that day. That was incredible, and then just winning it made that day more special. And then trying to win this year is just making it more challenging, and I think all of us really want it this year.
Your coach and your teammate talk about that final game being exciting, but they were really focused on the journey, not the destination, and the way the team grew last year. Talk about that experience of what you always look for in team sports, which is see your team get better and better, and then when it's time to play the biggest games, your team plays its biggest and gives its best performance.
Yes, well, we all start off different, like the new freshmen coming in, and we don't really know each other. And I think the most important thing is to be able to recognize each other and become friends, and that's the most important thing to win a game. So just because we united, that's mostly why we won. So, and then our talent just added more to that. So.
Why Dominican? Why would somebody want to go and pick Dominican over all the great options in the area?
Well, not only do we excel in academics, but I mean, when it comes to sports, we always have the support of the fans and the student body coming, and then all the athletes I've seen, they always put their heart in every game they play. So.
As far as your faith goes in the school, obviously that's stressed at Dominican. Talk about how that fits into your life and helps you and your family as far as being able to grow.
Well, they definitely challenge us, but the balance of faith they have and they give to us, that just increases like our motivation, and it makes us able to overcome the hard times. So I think a Dominican has really balanced that well for athletes and academics.
Why soccer? Why is soccer such a great game? I say I love it, and I think more people should appreciate how great a sport it is. Why do you love soccer?
Well, I love soccer because, I mean, you don't really know what's going to happen next. You just go on the field with all the talent you have, all the ability and all the weapons you can put, and you just play the game as it goes, and you try to make the best of it and come out with a win.
I always like to ask about role models, and sometimes I just leave it open. So you can talk about role models in sports, role models in life, you name it, family. Who are your role models?
Well, my role models are definitely my family. I mean, like, every member of my family has supported me in soccer, and even though they haven't all played soccer, I mean, my brother got me into soccer, and then my mom and my dad have definitely supported me through it. So they are definitely my role models.
Another one whose brother was involved in it. How competitive are you one-on-one with the brother?
Oh, well, I mean, he basically started, like, my love for soccer. I mean, he started it. I saw him running up and down the field, chasing the ball, making goals, and I just really wanted to get into that. So
talk about Coach Al and what he means to you and this team. What's it like playing for him, working every day towards a common goal?
Oh, well, he definitely motivates us, and he as long as he pushes us, I mean, I think we will come out at the end as well as we need to be prepared. So.
Confident enough to say that Dominican will repeat as a state champion?
I am confident. If we put all the talent we have and all the preparation we have tried this year, I think we will definitely come out with another win.
When we come back, we'll talk with Coach Silvas about the future of soccer in New Orleans and in the United States. Right after this on Talkin Chalk on WHNO TV 20 Sports. Welcome back to Talkin Chalk. Soccer is one of the fastest growing sports in the United States, and Coach Al Silvas has been around soccer all of his life. He's proud of the growth he's seen in the New Orleans area and talks to Jude Young about the future of soccer in New Orleans and in the United States.
Now, I happen to be a big soccer fan. Okay, internationally, I love to see the game grow in the United States. Let's look at New Orleans area soccer, both boys and girls level. What about your involvement? When did you start with it? And talk about the growth of it over the years.
It's grown by huge numbers. I actually started, as a youth player coming through club, high school, and then my senior year, I actually started to get into coaching at the local playgrounds, Lakeshore Playground. And then after a few years, got invited into the what was Laughing Year Soccer Club, the premier program in the city, to work with them, pick that up, and now I'm the assistant director of coaching there at that club, and just have enjoyed every moment of that because it's hard. It's hard for many people to find that job that they love going to every day, and I get to stand out in the sun. Take trips with the teams to different places, and you get paid for it, so you can't beat that.
It's fun to be around a game you love, and as far as people who participate in it, talk about working with the girls over the years and the importance of hard work in a game like soccer. It's run, more running, and as well as working on your skills, which take hours to be able to perfect something that maybe somebody who's a novice to watching the game or doesn't understand it doesn't realize the concepts that go into the hard work of being able to handle the ball individually and then work with teammates to be able to pass the ball and make it more than just, like haters might say, kicking the ball around.
Definitely. It's a testament to all the players and the hard work that they do all year long. It's not, just a 3-month program. Yeah, high school's 3 months, but it's what they do in those 9 months away from high school that really make the high school teams successful, especially some of the state powers. And, we try to play a game that's pretty fun to watch, exciting, and it's not just that, kick it as hard and as far as you can and hope to outrun the other team. And definitely the technical skills that these girls have worked on their entire lives plays a big part of that in our program.
Where's soccer heading locally and nationally, in your opinion? It's obviously growing in popularity, but where do you think local soccer's heading? And specifically because of your involvement in girls soccer, that's always had a step above the boys and men's level because of the success that national teams have had in particular before the men's team really took the scene. The women were winning World Cups. Talk about where that's headed, and particularly on the local level.
I think with the soccer in the local area, especially on the women's side, on the girls' side, in the club, we've got a lot of players through every age group, U18 all the way down to, we've started an under 4 program, and the numbers in there are growing, getting them exposed to it.
Congratulations, St. Mary's Dominican soccer program and Coach Al Silvas. Hope you've enjoyed this edition of Talkin Chalk. Watch us again next week for more Talkin Chalk right here on WHNO TV 20 Sports.